Good morning, everybody. Today's the 13th of August 2017. I'm going to be going over some weekly trade ideas for this week. Just remember that the trade ideas need to be set up, and so if I'm looking for a breakout point, you need to wait for those exact places for the chart to break out. If I'm looking for a pullback zone, obviously you start off with a position that suits your account, and then take it from there if the chart continues to work. First one on the list this week is Admp. It's a small chart, but the chart is definitely curled up. It closed over the 50 EMA on the daily, which it haven't done in a little while, so that's impressive right there. And as the chart, you can see that the downtrend is obviously being broken. What I'd like to see is I'd like to see the chart pull back and retest that 50 EMA that it just broke out of, and that number comes in at $4.69. So at $4.69, I think would be a nice entry on Admp. Obviously, risk into the low of Friday's session would be the idea on an Admp long trade. Number 2 on the list is Cala, C-A-L-A. Strong bullish engulfing on the daily chart here, and I like this Cala trade for a continuation on the long side. Obviously, we need the chart to pull back a bit off that strong move on Friday, and I think if it pulls back and retests this pivot point here, which puts you right about $13.10, a pullback to that range on CALA could give you a nice long trade for a continuation. Obviously, if you're gonna wait for something that's more into a reversal instead of trying to play the bottom, you can wait for the chart to break over this line here, which would be a break over Friday session high over $14.39 would also give you a long. So either you play the pullback down to the 50% retrace, which puts you down to about $13.10, or you play the break over Friday session high on CALA. Number 3 on the list is AMD. I do like the chart sitting on the 200 SMA here for a test, and so what we're going to do is we're going to look for the chart to hold this range. Obviously, we'd like to see a gap over and then a pullback to about $12.15, $12.10, somewhere around there, which gives you a long entry on Admp, risking the lows of Friday. But a 200 SMA supporting you at the base is a good reason to be taking a trade long. Number 4 is Cuda, strong move on Friday, chart breaking the downtrend with that strong move on Friday, and so what I'd like to see is a pullback on this chart. I think if we can get a pullback on the chart to about $23.20, it then comes into some support area that it had here, and that puts us into a long setup on Cuda for a bigger move to the upside. Number 5 on the list is EVH. This is just merely a bottom play. I feel like the chart have gotten broken down quite a bit, and there's a setup trade here with the possible pullback on Cuda to $17.90, puts you in the long spot on EVH, risking to the low of Friday's session. Number 6 is Jmei. Chart had a nice strong move on Friday, broke over a lot of resistance points on this one. I'd like to see the chart pull back to the 50 EMA, which puts you somewhere to about $2.45, and it's going to find some support from these top levels here that it broke out of, and that should give you enough support for a continued move on Jmei. Number 7 is Sgmo. Nice chart on this one. Decent hold off the 50 EMA, 813 cross to the upside, 2 consecutive strong candle. I'll be looking for one more push on this one. A break over $10.50 gets you into a long play on Sgmo. Number 8 is LC. This is a nice gap fill and pullback trade, and so now that we're getting the pullback on the chart, if you were to throw some fibs on this one from the top to the bottom, you would see that the 50% retrace comes in here at about $5.70. and the 61% comes in here about $5.50. So within this range here is when the chart should find some support. So into this range here, you'd like to be looking at LC for a long trade and a continued move to the upside. Number 9 on the list is Srpt. I like the chart. Nice strong bullish engulfing off the 50 EMA on the daily chart. We can play this one two ways. Either you get a pullback on Srpt A pullback to about $37.50 would be justifiable on this chart. Or you play the break over Friday session high. So a break over Friday session high for a long, or a pullback down to about $37.50 on Srpt for a long trade. Tgtx is number 10 on the list. I like the chart. Nice strong move to the upside there. Strong candle move on Friday's session, and you can see that the chart is testing the trend for a bigger break to the upside. Simple way to play this: if it breaks over Friday's session high, or try to get a pullback on this one. I think a justifiable pullback would be right to the 50 EMA, which puts you at about $11 on the long side on Tgtx. So those are the 10 for this week. There's obviously a whole bunch more that I tweeted out, and as always, if you're interested in looking at some of the tweets that I put out, it's at Iceman Trading is the Twitter handle. And if you're interested in day trading with me, at Iceman Trading Academy, you can check out the website, icemantradingacademy.com, and there you'll find links to everything that we do. Thank you. Have a great week.